Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to go into this very important question of whether or not you should state what you're looking for on your dating profile on dating apps and online. And I want to be more specific. The question is, should you state that you are looking for a relationship or even that you are looking for marriage directly and explicitly when you're creating your online profile? So there are 3 compelling considerations that I hope you will think about in terms of before you directly state what you're looking for online. The first one, I'm just going to state outright because it's pretty common and it's what you would first think of as a reason why you probably shouldn't state what you are looking for. But there are 2 other reasons that I want you to stay tuned for, and I'm going to tell them to you in the form of a story and some experiences that I've been through because I feel like it would be a lot better and you would get the message a lot more regarding 2 other reasons why you should hesitate to directly state what you're looking for online. The number 1 thing that I've heard about is that if you state directly that you are looking for a relationship or a marriage, that has the potential to scare away a lot of potential candidates. Why? Because a lot of these men might feel like you're just looking for any relationship or any marriage and you're desperate, and they don't want that. They want someone who specifically is going to take their time and get to know them. And so because of that, when they see that you're just directly putting that out there, they get a little bit scared. So that's just one of the reasons, but I actually have 2 reasons that I want to tell you about. So the first story goes a little bit something like this. If you haven't already, be sure to check out my other video where I talked about my experiences with online dating and kind of like the introduction of how I got to where I am now with online dating, and that'll give you a little bit of background information. Anyway, I was on the dating apps online, right? And actually, I was on Bumble. So I go on Bumble and I'm swiping, right? And you know how Bumble works. Once you swipe, there's a timer that goes off that you have a certain amount of time, 24 hours, to send a message as the woman to the man that you matched with. They then have 24 hours to send you a message back. As I'm swiping, I come across this guy's profile and I could swear I had seen this guy before, okay? I was like, I recognize him from somewhere. I'm pretty sure it was another dating app a long time ago. There was something about his face that was so familiar to me. So anyway, on my profile, I stated that I am looking for a relationship, right? There are little drop-down buttons, menus that you can click. What are you looking for? What are your interests? And so on and so forth. And I clearly stated that I was looking for a relationship because I wanted to see what type of matches I would get and where that would lead me if I was just being honest and open about what I was looking for. So we end up matching, and for some reason I got distracted and I didn't send him a message right away. So before I know it, the day got away from me, and suddenly later on, I remembered that if I didn't message him, I was gonna lose the match, right? And this guy, mind you, his profile pictures, he had himself well dressed, quality pictures, but not fake or like, how sometimes people have their acting pictures and it seems posy. Nothing like that. From the profile, seemed like he had a good job. Everything seemed to be right. So as I'm remembering that I matched with this guy, I'm thinking, okay, I don't want to lose out on this match. Later, when I open the app to check, I see that he had extended the match. So for those of you who don't know, this feature is when someone can see that the timer is running out and they don't want to lose the match. So they have the option to click that they would like to extend. And actually, I've never used this feature, so I don't know if it's a paid option or not, but he used it on me. So of course, I was flattered, like, okay, he doesn't want to miss out. And so this must mean that, he's really serious. And mind you, on his profile, he also stated that he was looking for a relationship too. So I'm like, okay, great. We're both on the same page in terms of what we're looking for, at least. So now we can move forward and see what's really gonna go on. So we end up matching, doing introductions, talking, small talk and whatnot. And then he invites me to go out on a date literally the same day that we matched. And it was already, like I had said, I hadn't checked the app until later in the day. So it was already like early evening, I want to say. And he was trying to invite me to go out that night, like in a few hours. But I felt like, okay, this is a little bit rushed. I just got back from work. I don't have time to really mentally prepare for this day. It's kind of like, I'm not just trying to jump and hop out and go meet this person that I don't know like that. So I told him oh, I'm not available tonight. However, and I gave him some options. I said, I will be available on this day and that day, which was a few days later. And then, we continue the conversation. He asked me what I'm doing. I believe it was a Friday night, right? So it was a weekend. He asked me what I'm doing for the rest of the weekend. I tell him I had plans with my friends, which I did. I asked him what he's doing. He has plans with family and relaxing and blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool, whatever. So the next day, he messages me, hey, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. We start conversations again. He then asked me a few hours later, I think it was afternoon, what are you doing tonight? And I'm just like, didn't I already tell him before that I had plans? And I was pretty specific. I said, on this day, I have plans to do this. And on that day, I have plans to do that. And I followed up with when I was available. So basically, he was trying to do a last minute, what are you doing tonight? And once I told him, he was like, oh, I wanted to know if we could hang out tonight. And I'm like, clearly not. I just told you I would be busy. So no. Then it was like, oh, okay. And the conversation died off. Then the next day, this sounds crazy, right? The next day, he literally does the same exact thing again. It's I feel like it's a broken record, right? Have you watched that movie Russian Doll on Netflix where the main character keeps waking up and reliving the same day over and over and over? I'm like, am I reliving the same day over and over? Because I'm pretty sure we had this conversation multiple times over multiple days. So he starts it again and he does the whole thing of, how are you? Good morning, blah, 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 blah. And a few hours later, what are you doing tonight? And I was just like, dude, what the heck is going on? Do you have some short-term memory issues? I really, really, really am trying to figure out why this is happening over and over. And here's the thing about it that I realized with that situation. It was he just kept testing the waters of, can I get her to come over last minute? Basically, I forgot to mention the first time he asked if we could go out for drinks. And I think I had mentioned that I don't really drink that much. So I prefer to do something else, go out for lunch or something like that. And he just kept pushing to see if we could do a night date, to see if we could do drinks, even though I said I don't drink that much, to see if, and he insinuated on one of the times oh, it'd be nice if we could just have a relaxing night together. So basically to see if I could come over. And this is the guy who said on his profile that he wanted a relationship. This is the guy who extended the match before it could run out to show that he was seriously interested. And yet, when it came time to show genuine interest, there was none. When we had the opportunity to engage in genuine conversations to get to know each other, there was none of that. He wasn't trying to get to know me. He wasn't asking questions about my interests, my likes. Every conversation was, what are you doing tonight. So I feel like I kind of veered away a little bit from what we were talking about, but actually it's related, because reason number 2 of why you should hesitate to state directly what you're looking for on your profile, we already talked about reason number 1, which is that it would repel potential good candidates. But reason number 2 is that some men will use that as an opportunity to take advantage of you. They will now try to mirror you, right? Maybe they don't want a relationship, but they know that if they say they want a relationship, that they might have a higher chance of getting in with you somehow. So now they're just going to say what you want to hear in hopes that you're not going to really vet them properly. I feel like this guy was just hoping that just because I wanted a relationship and just because he said he wanted a relationship, that I would just be willing to do any and everything to be able to get a relationship with him, that I wouldn't care about him, who he is, what he wanted, that I would just jump in blindly all because we wanted a relationship. So you do have to be careful of that, because there are guys that will do that. So this was going on a little bit longer than I wanted it to. I think I'm going to save reason number 3 for the next video, and I'm going to do it in the form again of another dating app story of what happens when you state directly what you're looking for on your dating app profile, and just a little hint about what the story will be, and you can see if you can guess the third reason why you should hesitate to state what you're looking for on your profile. Is the guy in question stated that he wanted marriage on his profile, and I stated that I wanted a relationship, and we ended up matching. So stay tuned for the next episode where I talk about what happened there in that scenario. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for listening as always, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.